All right. Well, good morning. Good morning. I'd like to read for you very quickly our statement of intent. We are fortunate to have a variety of speakers for Sunday services. By using guest speakers, we gain wisdom from all those who share. This is a church where you can worship the God of your own understanding, a place to experience joy and be uplifted, a place where we can gain strength and inspiration to share with all we meet throughout the week. We invite you to join us in this celebration of life, to nourish your spirit and to enjoy the company of kindred souls. And kindred souls, let us then sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth." All right. For our opening prayer, I'm going to read the Buddhist prayer for peace. May all beings everywhere plagued with sufferings of the mind and body quickly be freed of their illnesses. May those frightened cease to be afraid, and may those bound be free. May the powerless find power, and may all people think of befriending one another in kindness. May those who find themselves in the trackless, fearful wilderness, the children, the aged, the unprotected, be guarded by beneficial galactical beings. May all beings love themselves completely with great kindness, just as they are now. May all beings be safe, healthy, contented, and loved. With that, let's sing our opening hymn, which is Oneness, number 211 in Wings of Song.
There's nothing to
All right. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Sue Brewer. I am the president of the Board of Trustees of Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. Our speaker today is Robert Aho, and we all know how wonderful he is. And how many of you were at his thing this morning? Yeah, I mean, it was a good number of people. So every first Sunday, we have Robert having a mini retreat downstairs in the library. So if you want to join next month, first Sunday of the month, keep that in mind for next month. And Robert is going to be speaking today on the least popular thing on earth. And he says, no, it's not the alarm clock, right? Right. All right. So at this point, we'll do some announcements. Obviously, Robert's speaking today. Monday, the Unity Book Group. Rick, why don't you put your hand down there? Rick, put your hand up. He's in charge of the book group on Mondays, 6:30 p.m. in the library, and the book is this week? No. Oh, you're finishing that. I thought you already finished that. Okay. Menus for Impulsive Living.
A revolutionary approach to organizing and energizing your life.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So that's coming up. How many of us have impulsive lives? Okay. So a couple of other things. On Thursday this week, we have a very special event planned. Not here. We have it at Kimberly's house. How many of you had a chance to get to Kimberly's house on Saturday? Yeah, that was awesome. I'm so glad that so many people were able to attend. And it was almost not going to be a thing. So we're very thankful that we have Lisa Siri to thank for unplugging your plugs. Also, so I have the flyer. We have she's going to do an event on the 10th, which is the full moon. And it is called Release, Rise, Renew. It's Thursday at Kimberly's house. The address is on the flyers. There's some on a table downstairs as well as one posted. Evening flow is that you arrive at 6:30, and from 6:45 until 7. Nope. Oh, I was going to just say till 8 is when you're finishing. Yeah, so she's got a bunch of things going on for you. But the singing bowl thing, I'm overslept. First time in a long time. And space is limited to 10, so also you want to text her to let her know if you're going to go on Thursday night. So these are downstairs. All right, and Cushion Foundation. We're doing very well with our Cushion Foundation. The first 13 pillows have been paid for, and they are at the sewing shop as we speak. I brought her one of our cushions from downstairs, and she's going to replicate that. Not the fabric, close to the fabric color, like one of the blues or something, but it will be complementary to what we have on our cushions downstairs. So she's making those at when she can. And then, so if you want to donate to the Cushion Foundation, we do have an envelope that's specifically designated for people who donate. So we will take that money. If you want to donate with a check, put cushions in the memo box. Also, if you want to do cash, make sure that somebody who's taking money knows that it's for the cushions. Put a little note paper with it or something so that we can continue to finish off our cushions. We have how much left to go? $140. So yeah, $20 here, $20 there. And as Don asked, I don't believe we're going to have it. And if you want your name on it, you'll have to embroider it yourself. Yeah, one-time shot. Okay. Now, next on the agenda, I want to talk about the picnic. The picnic is scheduled for August 3rd. We have Lester Park Pavilion reserved for us. And so if it rains, we're covered. We also have electricity at that pavilion, so if you have a boom box and you want to plug it in or whatever, I mean, maybe I'm old-fashioned, so we may have our service there. It'll depend on logistics. We will be talking about that over the course of the next month to find out how we're going to work that. But it's available for our church service and our picnic. So let's start thinking about it in the back of your head. What am I going to bring to the picnic? Okay, and speaking of events, we're talking about a fall event, which we want to do a fundraising event. And it was discussed at one of our board meetings that maybe we should try something that includes more people in the community, which would be a chili cook-off. You bring a pot of your best chili, and we'll have a cook-off and see who wins for the best chili. And then also we'll have a silent auction along with that. So keep that in the back of your mind. We haven't hit a date for that yet. Oh, come on up.
So, good morning. Hello. I've made a suggestion box downstairs, and so please feel to write any suggestions, speakers maybe we've had in the past that you'd like to see them come back. If there's topics, something that you would like us to do to incorporate. It can be anonymous, or you can leave your name. It's up to you. Or if you know of any speakers, please let us know, and the box is downstairs. Thanks.
And let's give Debbie a round of applause because of all of the beautification that she's been doing. I don't know if you've noticed, but we removed the bulletin boards and stuff from that back wall where they had been for years. She moved them to a lot of different places in the building, so you can kind of, find downstairs, and you can kind of find them in different places. She rearranged the furniture so that we have a little meditation or sitting spot in that corner. So we're going to have history pictures up there on that wall, so you can see some of the history of our church and meditate on that or cogitate on that, whatever. And also, the yeah, yeah, the fifth, yeah. That's right, always more to see. Thanks, Debbie. All right, so next week our speaker is going to be Danielle Anderson. Her topic is Kundalini Awakening, Activation of the Soul. And I will put that, we will have information about her on our website starting this week, so you can look that up. Or is it already on the website, Steve? Okay, next week. All right. All right. Does anyone else have any other announcements? Oh. Well, it's for recording. That's why.
All right.
That's why we do it.
This is off Facebook. I thought it was kind of funny. Ringo Starr's birthday is Monday, and he's asked for his present that people at noon, and he does the peace sign, just pray for peace and love on the earth. I thought that's a pretty cool thing to ask for from everybody. So.
Well, happy birthday, Ringo, right? Okay. Thank you, Don. All right, so at this point, hold on. We will say our principles. Where's my card? Oh, there it is. All right, on the white card, you will find our principles. So, we believe God is the eternal source and creator of all and is present in everything. Our eternal soul, endowed with free will, grows through many lifetimes. Communication occurs between the physical and spiritual worlds. Prayer and meditation strengthen our connection to the divine. All healing comes from Source. Seeking this for ourselves and compassion for others' suffering is the highest priority. Because we are all one, what we do unto others, we do unto ourselves. The choice of love is always open for every soul. Living these principles leads us to grow in divine love. And speaking of healing and feeling better, and everybody has something going on, so let's pray for everybody. And part of that praying for everybody is putting names in our healing bowl. Whether you put it on a piece of paper physically or intentionally place somebody's name in that bowl, they are we are working healing magic for them as best we can. The healing bowl is always active, and we will activate it even more through our meditation today as well as our silent prayers. So are there any prayer requests today for anybody in particular? First for Dan.
Yeah. Actually, I have two people that I'm very close to that I would request prayers for them. Both of them are on a cancer journey. One is a friend I've had for many, many years, and the other is a cousin of mine, first cousin once removed. Her name's Emily. So Michelle and Emily are both on a cancer journey, and I ask that you keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I have two requests. I have a family member who's having total knee surgery replacement tomorrow, and she's really nervous and scared. She's never had surgery ever. And the other one is I had a classmate who passed away a few days ago, and he was just a really great person, and I really feel it for his family. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. A dear friend of mine's sister passed. It's maybe 2 weeks ago, and last weekend we had the funeral. So I'm just asking for prayers for, of course, for the family. The sister is Beverly. My friend is Kathy. It's her only sister. She died of dementia. And so, yeah, thank you.
I would request prayers for my wife, Lori. I know I've requested that before. She wanted to be here today because I'm the speaker, obviously, but she's just not able to make it. She's having such terrible mobility issues with her hip, and she has surgery coming up at the end of this month, and I just would like everybody to pray for her, and you know, hopefully this surgery will be a real quick, easy kind of healing. So thank you.
Any other prayers? At this time, we'll sing hymn number 74, In the Silence, in Wings of Song. And then we'll have a moment of silent meditation. And then we will have Robert come and give us his speech.
In
Good morning, everybody. Oh. Right. Thank you, Steve. So, I don't know if everybody knows this, but I don't prepare for my speeches. Maybe it's obvious, I don't know. But a few weeks ago, when I was driving to church here, and sometimes I have some very strong energy sort of hits me when I think about, because I do a weekly podcast, and I write an essay and a poem every week that goes on my website, and I have people all over the world that are interested in that, and I have people asking me to speak in groups all over the world, and this is probably the most frequent location where I've been speaking. So I sort of have this, what is it that people need? I'm constantly asking that question. What do people need? What do they really need? What's the most, how can I rephrase this? So I'm actually talking about something in every talk that's very, very, very simple. When first time I was asked to come here and speak, Carol asked me, and it was after my death experience in 2016. And I had written a book, and I let her know that I'd written this book, and she says, "Come on in, you got to talk about that." so I talked about my my experiences in the death bardo. It was a very, very complete experience. So I've kind of evolved where I don't talk about it as a near-death experience. It was a death experience. I died. I flatlined for 5 minutes, which isn't I wasn't declared dead, but I had been gone for an eternity. And when my consciousness returned, an eternity in this timeless luminosity, we can refer to that as Source or God, Dharmakaya. What it really is who we are. We just got done singing this hymn, Oneness. That's who we are. And this church taps into that. We all recognize that we're part of this amazing, amazing truth that keeps eluding us. So in order for me to return from the death bardo, I didn't just show up again. It was actually really difficult. I describe it took me 100 years to fabricate myself again. I took whatever memories and personality traits and elements that I could find, but I only took those things that I knew I would need. So if you talk to my wife, who I think she's watching right now, if you talk to people who know me, they report that I have big memory gaps. Like major events in my life they're just no longer there. Well, I didn't need them because it was hard for me to pull my elements together, to fabricate self one more time. I had opened my heart and mind completely while in the death bardo. I instantly became that light. I didn't go into that light. I didn't go down a tunnel. I became that light. Okay, so sometimes people ask me, well, does that mean you're enlightened? I don't like saying that because that creates obstructions for people. I don't like saying that because, okay, now what? Am I making some kind of claim about myself? Is there some motivation behind that? Okay, so that just gets in the way. So we're not even going to talk about that. I'm just going to say I became that light for an eternity and let you do what you want with that. That's not important. That event was not important. What's important is happening right here in this room. That's what's important. We're trying to discover that. We're trying to discover who we are. But it's difficult because we're habituated beings. we fabricate our existence. We decide who we are as a person, so we start to assemble our ego, this notion of self. We say, well, I vote like this. I go to this church. I live in this town. I pay taxes. Boom, 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 boom. There's all these identity things, you know? You've got all that. And you work really hard trying to fabricate that. You see what I'm doing here? This is the universal symbol of insanity. We work really hard to create things that aren't real. We're used to doing this for all eternity. So like we might think, oh, I want eternal life, and we're thinking of it in a term of like living in a heaven and, you know, playing a harp and floating on a cloud, you know. This is really, you know, pretty jazzy tune, this, you know. Well, guess what? We've already been living for an eternity. We've already been here forever. If you're not exhausted by this, I don't think you've really been paying attention. Existence is exhausting. We have to work very hard to do that. When we try to do nothing, when we don't even think, you know, when we just sit. We're not even sitting, we're just you know, try to do nothing sometime. It's impossible. We always start to think. We always start to follow thoughts. We always start to think about who we are and what's on our schedule. How long can I do this? You know, we were meditating downstairs for an hour, and I kept checking my phone because I didn't know what time. You know, we got to keep track of time here. So we're always doing that. So what happens when you just let go? Just let go of everything. Just let go. It's hard to answer that question because we're so busy habitually creating self. We create self. That's something we do. Nobody else is doing that for us. Nobody else is saying, you know, this is what I think today, this is what I think tomorrow, this is my schedule. Our own mind is creating self. We're busy at it. We have opinions. We join groups. We have groups thrust upon us, you know. I mean, you know, I was born a Lutheran. You know, I think you don't have a group thrust upon you. I mean, that was thrust upon me. You will go to church. And it was a Finnish Lutheran family that I came into, so it's strict. It's strict. But you know, that's those things we do, and then we can choose other things. Those are still thoughts. Those are things we create. Those are things our family and our community and our nation, those are things that are created. You know, nobody usually knows who the first one who created these things are. They just kind of move along, and we're not, you know, we're really not quite sure what that is. So when I talk about self, I'm talking about the most popular thing on earth. We are habitually obsessed with self. How do we look? How are we dressed? What about our hair? Are we wearing the right fashions? You know? Self. We're habituated to doing that. Now, so in order to understand the least popular thing on earth, we have to understand the most popular thing on earth first. So we observe self. We observe our mind. Downstairs, we sat, and I said, look at your mind. Let's just sit. Was that a useful practice, did you feel? Yeah, it's really something that's essential. We understand our own mind, and we start to catch little glimpses of something. the more we spiritually practice, the more we catch these glimpses of light, of luminosity. We start to notice in our heart center, or we notice it has no location. We can't point to it in any direction. This brightness happens in moments of trauma. Boom. Let's say you got hit in the head with a brick. Boom. There's that moment where there's a flash of light. Or maybe you remembered that trauma. There's a flash of light. Or maybe you're very happy. Boom, there's a flash of light. And we immediately let that go. Whoa, we're disoriented. We don't know what to do because there's something keeps showing itself, something bright, some condition that defies explanation. So we go right back to concept and building self, because self is very very popular. We like self. We want to keep doing that. We want to do more selfing. We like that. It's a very, very common thing. What I want to do here, I want to do this. There we go. Yeah, I wanted a selfie. Very popular. So what is that? Why would a person care? It doesn't have any bearing, it's a fabrication. It's what it is. So we catch these glimpses. When we laughed just now, you caught a glimpse. You caught a glimpse of something very bright. So what I'm really talking about, the least important thing, we know what the most popular thing is. To talk about the least popular thing, we're talking about enlightenment itself. Enlightenment mind. People avoid awakening. They do whatever they can to avoid it. And this isn't just beginners. This is even advanced spiritual practitioners avoid awakening. Because you want to go back to selfing. You want to go back to taking selfies. That's what people want to do. They want to conceptualize. They want to analyze. They want to think about things. They want to form beliefs. Those types of things are very popular. They're very nice. I read a quote from a really famous Buddhist the other day who said, Dharma centers, going on retreats. Sometimes people go on retreats for 3 years, spiritual practice. Your meditation cushion, very nice. These are nice things. It's not the main point. The main point is to awaken. When I came back from the death bardo, the whole point was to tell people, awaken. Awaken. I had just gotten done assembling myself for what I call 100 years. It's exhausting. It was very hard to do. I was taking strands of everything that I could remember. I could barely remember myself because I'd been gone as this light for an eternity. Now this light, it's not just light. It's not just no thought. It's total, complete awareness. It's being aware of everything, all at once, everywhere. That's that light. That's the thing that's the least popular thing on earth. So even great spiritual practitioners, people who've been meditating for years and years and years and years, maybe 40 years, suddenly they meet a great master and they have been introduced to the nature of mind. So if you're being introduced to the nature of mind, you're being introduced to enlightenment. And they receive a pointing out from a great spiritual master. And some people will say, oh wow, you know, now I really have my work cut out for me, because I just noticed something that I've been avoiding my whole life. So now you know that the greatest amount of work is once you've discovered your real nature. That's where your spiritual practice really takes off. That's where you realize, oh wow, I've been living for an eternity, and I've got all these things, all this karma to work through, all these elements that need to be addressed, all these fine points need to be checked out. Now I'm facing hundreds of demons or millions of demons. I gotta look each one of them in the face and say, oh, okay, now we're gonna have to come to an agreement here. we're gonna have to get past this obstruction. A demon is nothing other than an obstruction. You know, you don't have to put a supernatural spin on it. A demon is just something that's getting in your way. So your own spiritual practice can actually get in your way. It can be anything. So I mean, even though we cherish our spiritual practice, we have to be very careful that we don't become too bogged down by it. We have to be able to let things go. We have to be able to find a way to get past that demon so that we can discover the least popular thing on earth, which is enlightenment itself, enlightenment mind. We each carry that. We are each enlightened beings who simply have forgotten. We're simply obsessed and habituated with this life. We've been seduced by our own passions, by our own aversions, or by the things that we would want to ignore, and so we purposefully ignore virtually everything. So rather than being aware of everything, we choose to cover it up, or we choose to push it away, or we choose to pull it closer. And so in doing so, those are called the three poisons. That's why we remain in this cycle of suffering that has gone on forever. So we allow ourselves to be poisoned by this life, rather than opening our heart and mind to what is, as it is. We don't need to change anything. You really don't want to change anything if it's actually enlightenment, if it's actually enlightenment mind. We accept that bright condition as it is. And the more we do that, the more our heart and mind opens, because we're actually dealing with reality here. It's not accessible through concept or belief or great intellectual endeavors. You can go through every philosophy that's ever been created by humankind. You'll never find a philosophy that will stick. You'll always be able to pull that apart. It's true with all our beliefs and concepts, because our conceptual mind is actually creating obstructions. To understand this bright, brilliant light, who is us, don't ever forget that. Remember the song we just sang, Oneness. That is us. In order to understand that bright, brilliant, timeless condition, we have to open our heart and mind completely. It's very unpopular because when we do that, forces rush in. All our demons rush in. So this is why we can't just be told what the answer is. We have to spiritually practice, because we have to prepare for that. Just as we have to prepare for the day and tomorrow and our whole life, we have to practice in order to prepare for death and our transmigration into who knows what, propelled by our own actions. We've been doing this forever. We're good at it. We're good at remaining in suffering, but what we really work hard to avoid is removing our suffering, becoming aware, becoming enlightened, becoming a condition that is beyond all obstructions, beyond all limitations. We avoid that. As I keep saying, we catch glimpses of that each and every day. We catch glimpses of that bright awareness, that bright condition. Every day. Every day. But in reality, and when we talk about how enlightenment is, we might think it's the most difficult thing we could possibly do. In reality, it's the easiest thing we could do. We could, boom, we could become enlightened that fast. Jerry knows what I just did. That fast. It's the easiest thing we can possibly do, but we avoid it because we're too busy doing all this other stuff. We're too busy creating problems for ourselves. We're too busy clinging to life. We're too busy categorizing all the stuff we've got in our house and what's in those boxes I keep meaning to look at, you know, things like that. It's all categorized. So this is part of our identity. This is part of self. Instead of just letting go and saying, doesn't matter, I'm working with enlightenment mind today. I'm working with this bright heart center that I've had for all eternity, but I keep forgetting because I keep distracting myself. Because I'm really enamored with this life suffering thing, this constant and perpetual going through the cycle of endless conceptual nonsense. We're used to really liking that. It's the opposite of life is not death. The opposite of life is awakening. Life and death, it's awakening. You awaken, you're still alive. You don't have to give up your body or your life. You still have responsibilities. You just don't conceptualize it. You don't need to. You have an open heart and mind. Now you're open to everybody. You're open to everything. Now I know there are 16 levels of enlightenment that you can do your research on that. There are 7 levels of being a Buddha. So when you first you would maybe start with the aspiration to help all beings. That's a bodhisattva. Okay? When you get to the 10th level, you are a Buddha. Even when you're a Buddha, you have things you need to work through. But you don't worry about it because you're a spiritual practitioner. You are focusing on your aspiration to awaken. You do not want to focus on finding another belief to cling to because at some point it's going to fall apart. Our life is an endless cycle of things coming together and falling apart. So we need to practice letting go. But if we let go and we have this aspiration to awaken to what is as it is, that bright light shines. We learn how to shine. We shine brightly in everything we do in life. Everywhere we go, our aspiration is something people feel when we walk into the room. they don't even need to lay their eyes on us. They can sense something very powerful is happening. So this is how we aspire to awaken. We open our heart and mind. You know, we have to deal with some discomfort when we do that. It's not easy. This world doesn't want you to awaken. This world wants you to remain in suffering. And we agree to it. We agree to the terms and conditions of being here. We didn't read the fine print. So we aspire to awaken. We're aspiring to do the most unpopular thing there is on the planet Earth. Because, as I say, our habitual practice is to remain in suffering. That's our practice. We don't have to keep that as our practice. Our practice can be to awaken. And once you make that aspiration to awaken, use everything you've got. You don't have to take anything in particular. You take what you have, you start where you are, but now you just have changed your motivation. You aspire to awaken. You're aspiring to discover for yourself what is ultimately real. It's not fabricated. You're aspiring to go beyond a fabricated existence. You're aspiring to go beyond something that has always caused you harm. Even though we go through long stretches where things are very nice, inevitably we're gonna get sick, we're gonna get old, we're gonna die, and we're gonna wonder, what did we do with our life? When we're in the death bardo and we forgot to practice spiritually, and we're going, ah! Flying through the death bardo in this energetic dimension that is so far beyond what we had ever thought it would possibly be, far beyond anything human beings can conceptualize. One thing will have occurred to us. Did I prepare for this? You prepare using whatever spiritual means you have at your fingertips. Anything that you know, everything that you know can be used to awaken. You investigate mind, you look at mind. You start to discover enlightenment mind. You start to discover you have infinite potentiality. That's the least popular thing on earth. You discovering infinite potentiality. Nobody wants that. They keep avoiding it. Great spiritual practitioners fall into traps just at the moment before they should have become enlightened. There's traps all over the place. So you have to aspire to awaken. Keep that focus. Always focus on discovering who you are. This infinite potentiality beyond all human belief. This is for you. This is for you. You have the ability. In the past, we've all been great spiritual masters. Tibetans call it tulkus. We've all been tulkus. Okay. Find who that was and start there again. That's great. You have the ability. Even people who think they have no spiritual capacity have the ability to discover who they are and rediscover a really deep spiritual practice. Just don't ever give up under any circumstance. Don't get distracted. Don't fall into traps. Remain focused on that aspiration to awaken. That's key. That's what opens all doors to everything and beyond what we think of as everything. All right. Thank you very much. May you all awaken.
Michael, We will have a song from Michael, and the words are on little white pieces of paper in the pews for you.
Whatever. Uh, Here's an opportunity to both exercise that uplifting that. Can you all hear me back there from here? Yes. Okay. I was told not to get too close. Okay. To both exercise that potential, that power, that strength within, the transition, the transformation into a whole nother level of enlightenment, and to exorcise all those barriers, barriers that hold us back from being able to find that level of attainment. This song talks about that. Like Debbie says, another show tune, huh? But it is, and it's so real. How many of you know this song? Okay. Talks about on a clear day, you can see forever. So we'll go through it twice. The first one is just practice. The second one, we're really going to be able to connect with the breath and put it out there. Again, the ego says, I'm not going to sing unless they sing, you know. That insecurity is very real, but to be able to find the voice, to find that vibrational tone, and to release it, and to get into that other state of consciousness. So, on a clear day, rise and look around you, and you'll see who you are. On a clear day, how it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star. You'll feel part of every mountain, sea, and shore. You can hear from far and near a world you've never heard before. On the clear day, on that clear day, you can see forever and ever and evermore. Okay, can you feel it? Let's try it once more, okay? This time with feeling. Release it. Find your voice and release it. On a clear day, rise and look around you, and you'll see who you are. On a clear day, how it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star. You'll feel part of every mountain, sea, and shore. You can hear from far and near a world you've never heard before. And on that clear day, on that clear day, you can see forever and ever and ever and evermore. On that clear day.
All right. Can I get a couple of people bring forward the baskets for our offering? And Carol, could you play us a little background music? Oh, cool. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Debbie has spirit rings.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right.
Ah. And for all of us together right now, we ask that the higher spirit of the universe and us are together again, of light, compassion, love, peace, and joy for all of us together again, right now, now, now. And I thank you for your light, compassion, and love. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Jerry. At this point, Debbie has some spirit greetings for us.
Hello. So last week, Rev and Helga were here, and I didn't get their greetings, but they are here today. And so, Rev says that this church is a spiritualist church. Its foundation is built in spiritualism. It will always be spiritualism. It is in the foundation of who we are. And Spirit says, and the Rev says, and he's always said, the declarations are important, but love is so important. So the choice of love is always open. That was Rev's message, was in the past, it still is today. And he thanks you, Robert. He was with you the whole time, and he said thank you. Thank you for that message. And also he said, and he was clear always on this as he is today, what we do unto others, we do on to ourselves. I can see him as clear as day, standing up there in his little white suit and his bow tie. And so, and I come to you, Jean. And Helga's here. And Helga says, dust yourself off, Jean, and get up from the ashes. Don't stop living. No matter what is happening, you have to live. Your spirit needs to live. Audrey's here. And Audrey says, they're here, Jerry, they're here. All the spirits we've worked with are here in the rescue group. And they thank you. They thank you. They thank you too. Okay. And Helga comes to you, and she thanks you for playing the role. And she wants to pass that baton on. That this church needs that. And that she was so grateful for you today. She didn't like when I quoted but she thanks you. Thank you. Spirit comes to you. And Spirit says, sometimes we need to put the books away. That we have to live. Studying is great, but we have to at some point take it into our heart and to put it out in action. Spirit comes to you. Your grandmothers are here back 100 generations. And they say, daughter, thank you. Yes. Spirit has one more message, and it kind of goes with what Robert was saying. Spirit said, live a good story. Don't get wrapped up in your story. Meaning, don't keep telling people the same story again and again because you are wrapped up in that story. You are not living your story. Spirit says, go out and live your story. Those people who have passed, for the people here and then for anyone, they have lived their story here on this earth. They're now living their story in a different realm, but they are still here with us in their stories. So to remember, live your story. Live your story. Don't keep telling your story because you get stuck in it and you don't go forward. So that's all I have. Thank you.
right. Do we want to sing another song? All right. So let's sing hymn number 322. I am free and I am unlimited. In Wings of Song. All right, so let's read our church affirmation, which is on the white card. We totally accept the belief that God is in charge of the affairs and direction of Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. As our thoughts of trust and joyful anticipation join in harmony with the thoughts of all members of this fellowship, we attract the right ministerial leadership and people to our spiritual community, and we are grateful. All right, ladies and gents, let's start forming our circle, and Robert's going to give us a benediction.
Thank you, everybody. Now we are here together. We are gathering in this place. We have practiced together. This community multiplies our spiritual strength. We can take comfort in this spiritual community. And I thank you, each and every one, and we are all one. Thank you, thank you, thank you.